Your Excellencies, the President of the United States.
Let's get this over with.
I guess I should clear my mind here a little bit and not say what I'm really thinking.
An FBI informant at the center of the impeachment inquiry into you has been indicted for allegedly lying. Your reaction to that, and should the inquiry be dropped?
He is lying, and it should be dropped, and it's just been an outrageous effort from the beginning. We did. No, I'm serious. No, but it's about time they step up, don't you think? Instead of going on a 2-week vacation. 2 weeks. They're walking away. 2 weeks. What are they thinking? My God, this is bizarre. Now, as I've said before, and I mean this in a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching the House of Representatives. The failure to support Ukraine at this critical moment will never be forgotten. It's going to go down in the pages of history. It really is. It's consequential. All of us should reject the dangerous statements made by the previous president that invited Russia to invade our NATO allies if they weren't paying up. He said if an ally did not pay their dues, he'd encourage Russia to, quote, do whatever the hell they want. I guess I should clear my mind here a little bit and not say what I'm really thinking. And the way it works is we supply Ukraine with military equipment from our stockpiles. And then we spend our money replenishing those stockpiles so our military has access to them. Stockpiles that are made right here in America by American workers. For Republicans in Congress who think they can oppose funding for Ukraine and not be held accountable, history is watching. History is watching. History is watching. Failure to support Ukraine at this critical moment will never be forgotten. Good afternoon. Before we begin, I'm going to make this statement, let it stand on its own. I'm not going to take any questions, but I'll be taking questions tomorrow and the next day.
The president said yesterday that he would be taking questions today or tomorrow. What was he referring to?
I don't have anything to share at this time. As you know, the president takes questions from you all often. I don't have anything on the public schedule to speak to. As you know, the president's going to be in Ohio on Friday. Just don't have anything to share on his public schedule.
Well, this is the second time, I think, in as many weeks that he has referenced taking questions at some point in the near future. I'm just wondering, are White House advisors having discussions about generally the president finding more opportunities to take questions from reporters?
I mean, he said it last week, and he did. He took questions from you on that Thursday when he said that he would get back to you on Thursday or see you on Thursday. He gave remarks and took questions. So, look, we always try to find ways for him to have engagement with all of you. He takes initiative, obviously, on his own many times, whether it's on the South Lawn, whether it's on the road, whether it's here at the White House to take questions from all of you. I just don't have anything on his schedule to speak to at this time.
Was he likely referencing some kind of speech like he gave last week and then questions afterwards?
I mean, I really don't have anything to share on the schedule. I would say, who knows? We'll see if something lands on his schedule.
Let me start by welcoming His Majesty, the King of Jordan. He's been a good friend. Abdul, welcome back to the White House, man. Welcome back. And by the way, Barack's looking at you in the corner over there. The King and I also discussed the situation in Rafah. As I said yesterday, our military operation in Rafah, the major military operation in Rafah, along with Queen Rania, is meeting with Jill now and the Queen and the Crown Prince Hussein. Where is the prince out there? I thought he was coming out. At any rate, every innocent life in Gaza is a tragedy.
Mr. President, is Netanyahu taking your advice?
Everybody does. Your Majesty, over to you.
Mr. President.
Growth is strong, wages are rising, Inflation is down. In fact, the costs have fallen from a gallon of gas to a gallon of milk. We know prices are still too high because of what I call greedflation and shrinkflation.
This is January 2021 to January 2024. Over just a few years, overall costs up 20% almost, food prices skyrocketing, energy, those everyday items that are not your choice.
When I got on a plane and went to South Korea, they said, what the heck are you doing, Joe? I said, I'm going to try to convince them to invest here. Why? Remember we had the supply chain issues? We couldn't get these chips? Well, guess what? Samsung came and met with the president of South Korea, and all of a sudden I asked the leader of the company, I said, why would you invest in America? He said, you have the best workers in the world. You know, after we, the fellow who's running again, well, after he did not move on making sure that we dealt with vaccinating the American public. We ended up losing over 1 million people dead. 1 million people. 1 million. And the studies show that for every one of those who died, there were 8 to 10 significant others who left behind. The American Infrastructure Plan used to, you know, we used to be the best in the world in infrastructure. Literally, we were ranked number one in the world. One more thing I forgot to mention. Newcastle County, Delaware. Where are all my 5? Come on, stand up. Where are? Over there. But with your help, we're making real progress in red counties and blue counties. I promise to be a president for all Americans. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. There's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country, whether you voted for me or not. Well, together, no, it's okay. Together, we're making a big difference, bringing this country together and not tearing it apart.
Simply this, his approval rating in our poll clocks in at 37%. That is his low in our poll. That's the lowest a president has checked in an NBC poll since the final days of the George W. Bush administration.
Area Farm
Bureau. That's right. Everybody thinks Delaware is all almost over $4 billion agriculture. $4 billion. Wow. Delmarva Peninsula. Chickens. Whole lot of broiler chickens. Yeah. I want to say hello to the press. You can smile, guys. Come on. Doing well. Hey, you know the old expression? So God made man, then he made a few firecrackers. They're all crazy.
I grew up here in Columbiana County. Went to Ohio University and stayed here to practice.
Is that right? The Ohio University.
That's right.
When my the vice presidency, there were a lot of folks who went from Ohio. Mm-hmm. And the big fight was, did he go to Ohio State or the Ohio University?
Well, you know where I stand.
No one ever doubts anything I say. Sometimes I say, oh, I mean, I get in trouble.
President Biden, do you have a reaction to the shooting in Kansas City?
We're getting more information about the shooting. I don't have it all. I'll have it later tonight.
I just wanted to see it.
There's a Joe and Jill one right beneath you. You see that?
Yeah. Saw that one.
Yeah.
She never did this for me before when we were home. Picture in front.
President Biden, do you have any comment on Russia deploying nuclear weapons into space?
By the way, reason for Ben Franklin, I got to put that up because my kids went to Penn and I was a professor at the University of Pennsylvania.
President Biden calling himself a professor yesterday. Again, despite never teaching a single class, he was given the title Benjamin Franklin Presidential Practice Professor at the University of Pennsylvania, an honorary role that paid him nearly $1 million.
Hey folks, how are you? Sir. Excuse me, I close that door. UK Administrator Regan as well.